in their arrogance, they built a tower to the sky. That has gone through my mind. It's about the Tower of Babel. Has gone through my mind ever since September 11th. And in their arrogance will be their undoing. It's what I fear about the undoing of America. It is the joy that I have and the arrogance of the progressive movement. One of the best examples of how the progressives are arrogant and the way they operate is the way they responded to a show that I did where I had mentioned the art of Rockefeller Plaza. I want you to know right up, I am a huge fan of the art in Rockefeller Plaza. I have a recreation, a painting in my office of one of the things that is right over the front doors of 30 Rockefeller Plaza. It's beautiful art. I am an art fan. I don't want art destroyed. But that show was in September, and they're still attacking me for it. Here is what I said that started the firestorm. Watch this. This is Rockefeller Plaza. Here's the door frame of this building. This is where the concerts are. There's this man and this man. Well, let's see. He's holding a hammer, and there's weed over there, so this must be the worker. Can you show me this guy, please? This must be the worker. Yes, because he has the hammer here, the worker. Now show me the other door frame. Here's the farmer. Oh, there's the wheat, but what's this? This is a sickle. Gee, the hammer and the sickle. Where has anybody seen that before? Oh, you know what? Show it. This is it. This is from Moscow. Okay. What they really went crazy is when I talked about the fascist symbols from Italy. Well, they went nuts, and here's what they said about me.
I work in, MSNBC comes to you from, NBC and GE are headquartered at a communist, fascist, progressive building. An evil, mind-controlling, symbol-ridden, living, breathing, evil building. I know this is true because Glenn Beck has told me so.
I believe it's told. New York Magazine art critic Jerry Saltz said I did an batty 8-minute paranoid ranting tying together Obama, communism, NBC, the Soviet Union, Mussolini, Standard Oil, syphilis, fascism, the UN, architecture, and public art in New York. No, not really. I think you missed the point on that. He challenged me to curate 2 art exhibitions, one that I liked, and then one where all of the art that should be destroyed should be in. Again, you missed the point, but what would I expect from eggheads who don't really listen and are arrogant? The Huffington Post said this. It was another one of those crazy conspiracy theories, yes. But let me introduce you guys to this book. This is the quintessential book on Rockefeller Center art. It's not written by me or any kind of crazy conservative. This is the art that I said had been destroyed that held up fascism, Italian fascism. Here it is. On the side, art is labor, labor is art. This also is Advance Forever. Advance Forever, Eternal Youth. Well, there was an outrage about it because it was too much like Mussolini. But this is just the one part that I talked about. I want to bring in this book here. This is the art that I showed on the show that was not destroyed, that is still there. Let me just give you the real quick line here. Fortunately, this panel escaped censure and destruction, surviving purely as a work of art in its provident location on the main entrance of the International Building North. Because it lacked obvious controversial mottos and was not surrounded by blatant symbols of fascism. Maybe you art critics should read the books written by art critics. It's been nearly 5 months now, and they can't seem to let go. Maybe because the evidence is right there in front of millions of New Yorkers every day. It doesn't make the art evil or the building evil. It's just about the truth. Another case closed. Back in a minute. On vacation, the President of the United States signed an executive order that I got more mail than anything I've ever received before. It is about the International Criminal Police Organization, Interpol. Their headquarters are in the Department of Justice here in America, and we work together, and we should. But the President signed an executive order right before Christmas. Quote, designing Interpol as a public international organization entitled to enjoy certain privileges, exemptions, and immunities. Why? I have been trying to find out the answer why, and no one in the White House will respond. Who can tell me what special interest group asked for this? If it were about terror, why not tell us about it when you sign it? This Congress attacks our CIA and FBI But the European group, Interpol, they give immunity to? Why? This doesn't make sense. And perhaps the oddest part is the story was actually reported on in the New York Times. Yes, and they've been doing a lot of that lately. For instance, there's another story that made me double check to see if I was actually reading the New York Times. They seem to be getting it now on the economy, which makes me question everything that I believe about the economy. Last week, they had this story about President Obama's home loan programs not working. Quote, the Obama administration's $75 billion program to protect homeowners from foreclosure has been widely pronounced a disappointment, and some economists and real estate experts now contend it is doing more harm than good. And another one about the Fed's incompetence. This was on page A1. It raises the question, why should Congress or anyone else that has have faith that the future Fed officials will recognize the next bubble, seeing they missed this one? Did Ron Paul suddenly get a job as a reporter at the New York Times? Or do we need to reevaluate everything? Not only are so many American watchdogs on top of things that it appears even the New York Times is beginning to catch on. Seriously, when the New York Times says, maybe we shouldn't give government more power, and they call out a failed Obama socialist program, something is stirring in America. Right back. Last year, this program was all about just trying to figure out what was going on. What were they doing? Where were they headed? We've presented our case this week of all the stuff that we presented to you last year. Case is closed. We know who they are, what they're doing, and where they're headed. Now the question is, where are we headed? More on that coming up from New York. Good night.